Hello. Beep whip. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope you're having a great Friday. Coding Vibe was first. Thank you for being here. Code Life CL. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. I hope you are doing well. You were second. Fee said first, but it was a lie. You were third, but I appreciate you being here. Hello. Hello. Oh my goodness. Hi. Oh yeah. Code Life CL. I feel you. I feel you on the streaming being intimidating thing, because it is. It is. It's hard every time. Also, I just realized I didn't plug in my monitor, so I'm not going to have anything to show you. Let me do that real quick. Whoop. I guess I'll just stay on the screen. That's fine. Oh no, my hat. Ah. Ah. Okay, let's see if that's it. Not the clown. Oh, my camera's focused on the wrong thing. Let's see. Hold on. Hello. Did that do anything? Hold. Let me do the beauty blogger. Huh? I don't know. It's hard for me to tell. I can zoom in and out also if I need to do that. Not the clown emoji. Yeah, streaming is hard. Anytime you do a stream, I feel like there should be a parade. Just a little parade. When you go smaller, no one will be able to tell. No, I want to fix it. Hold. Hello. I think my autofocus is maybe off. Is that better? Yeah, that's way better. There we go. Hello. All right. Maybe I undid the autofocus. IDK. I need to post on Instagram that I'm live. Thank you for bearing with me. And I think my tweet should have gone live, but we will double check because it's been acting up. Oh no, I had lipstick on my teeth. Ah! There we go. That's a blurry selfie. Let's go Friday stream. Pew, 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 pew. I appreciate that y'all show up early, even though the first thing that I do is just make you watch me take a selfie. Twitch.tv/exomiamor. Oh, I typed twatch. That's not gonna work. Twitch. There we go. Okay. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. It's from Etsy. That's my secret. It's always from Etsy. Okay, and then I double check my Twitter. Did it work? It did. Yes. It never happens. Okay, cool. And then I'll mute my notifications. There we go. Awesome. So what are we doing today? Great question. We are writing the JavaScript Strugglebus. If you were here last week, you remember that I don't remember anything about JavaScript, and I was having a hard time. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Maybe they're born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline, except Maybelline tests on animals. RIP. So maybe it's a bunch of indie makeup. Yeah. So we're going to get back into the JavaScript groove. We're going to try to remember things. Hopefully, more than last time. I had to Google what is and in JavaScript because I was trying to use plus signs, and that's just not even remotely close to correct. So that's what we're going to work on today. Am I a little intimidated? Yes. But that's okay. Let me get my monitor all set up with the things I actually want to show you. Not this. Not that. But hopefully, we all Google basic stuff. No worries. You are so sweet. I know it happens to the best of us. It happens to the most experienced of people, but that's just an indicator of how off my brain is, I guess, is how I'm thinking about it. Okay, JavaScript, where are you? Which one of these windows are you? Here we go. JavaScript Bootcamp. Oh, thank you for the lurk. Have a good breakfast. Yeah, I feel like I had a kind of off morning because my kiddo woke up a little later, so therefore my morning started a little bit later. Okay, I tried to install a thing where if you redeem a channel points reward, it pops up on the screen like a follow alert or whatever, and it's just like, it's not working. And I'm deeply bummed about that. So I might have to steal Coding Vibes stuff that he put together. I don't know. We'll see. Boop. Coding Vibes. Yeah, Coding Vibes, stream alerts. I use Streamlabs. Yeah, I use Stream Elements, which works really great. And like, it works for all the other ones, but I haven't done it for channel redemptions. And also, I might turn it off anyway because the channel point redemption ones, it's all the same animation and I want to customize it per redemption. So that's the thing I need to look into. I don't want to use another freaking service, but that might be what I have to do because of the way it is. Okay, so this is what we were working on last stream. Let's see. So basically we are doing this profile lookup. I know streaming do be like that. So, okay, I'll close this whenever I'm done reading the prompt. Okay. So you can see it a little bit better. Yeah. The sounds that you have are fun. I might do something. I don't know if I want to do sounds or not, cause that can be kind of distracting. But I do want to do something a little more exciting. So we'll see. Because I have a couple of channel point redemptions. Number one, no one really uses them, which is fine. But that to me means I need to make them more exciting. So I have a couple of ones that I already have. Like I have the lurk if you want to let me know you're lurking, but like it doesn't do anything on the screen, and I think that could be kind of fun. Or have like a bot reply that's like, "Hey, thanks for lurking" or whatever. Yeah, I love Coding Vibes drip Goku, which basically it just pops out of the screen. So you can like, I mean, what's really funny to me is every time it happens, Coding Vibe acts like, oh God, where's it coming from? As if he didn't program the thing like live on stream. Like we all know that you know where it's from. It's very funny to me. But yeah, something like that. And then, yeah, I have a hello that's like once a stream you can redeem like hello, like let me know that you're here. And I want that to pop up on the screen. And then I have hydrate or dihydrate, which could be fun to like have a specific water animation or something. And then I have Miles' attention time for the dog, which I don't even have dog traits up here, but it's fine. It's a work in progress. Okay. The fact that we're live is a victory. So let's just celebrate that. And all the other stuff will come with time. Okay. So profile lookup. What we're doing in this one is we have a lookup profile function that takes name and property prop as arguments. And what the function should do is check if name is in the contact list's first name category. So like, is there someone with that name? And whether or not the property input is a property of that contact. If both are true, then return the value of the property. If name does not correspond to any contact, then we want to return the string no such contact. If prop does not correspond to any of the properties, then we want to return, but there is that name, then we want to return no such property. So we worked on this literally the whole stream and did not finish it, which is a bummer. But also that's where we're at right now. Let me know how the size is on this because it feels a little bit big, but maybe it's good for y'all, and that's most important. It do be like that. Yeah, it do. That's a good size. Okay, cool. So this was like pulling teeth to get to this point even, just because I just don't remember anything. So first of all, I didn't realize that it was going to be a for loop because I was like, I forgot you have to loop. So basically, I'm gonna talk through the logic of this, and then we'll start fixing the actual code. Okay. So we eventually realize it's supposed to be a for loop because we want to cycle through every single object in the array, right? And if we just write the if statements, which is what I was doing first, then it's only going to do that once, right? It's not going to go through every object. It's not going to work properly. So we have this for loop that says, starting at the beginning for the entire length of the array and going up by 1 each time. So going through each item one at a time. If name, which is the input here, is equal to contacts, so the array contacts whatever number we're on now, the first name category. So if the first name is equal to the name that we're inputting for contacts for the ith version of what we're doing, and this the I number of the array or whatever, the ith object in the array has the property, then return the value of that property. Else, if the name is there, but the property is not, which I don't think this code is correct, by the way. I mean, I think a lot of it is not correct, but this in particular I don't think is right. Then return no such property. Or if there is no name at all, return no such contact. And we know it's not working because all of the tests have failed. Haha. Okay. So let's see. Look at all these tabs I have open. We're going to get this done today, though. I'm pretty determined. So just going to double check that all the tests are broken. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to see if any of these are simple. You should be able to get this done today. I'm positive. You are light of my life. Posy vibes, coding vibe. I appreciate you a lot. I mean, we have, like, I'm literally, this is all I'm doing right now, right? Like, I have a big chunk of time set aside to do this. Thank you, Fee. I got my coffee. I got my water. I got my I was going to say, like, my moral support, which is y'all. So we should be okay. Okay. So I was trying to see, oh, what did I do? Oh, it's back. I think I might have messed with the plug a little bit. I was trying to see, try running through the first test case with your big, beautiful brain and see what happens. Wow. Are you flirting with me in public? Ah. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, is figure out which of these test cases like would be the easiest. It's probably going to be the first one. So the first one is Christian. I'm not sure. Christian Voss. So if we type in Christian for name and the property is last name, we should get Voss. Currently I have no idea what is and isn't working. So, okay. If name equals first name. So we're putting in the correct name. Do I need to make name into a string? Or does that change the input? Just feels weird that one of them is a string and one of them is not. Anyway. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull up. Let's look at some objects. Object stuff. Okay. Nope. A hero. Yes, you are a hero. I don't know how moral I am, but I'm here to support. You know, that's appreciative. Appreciated. I'm appreciative. There we go. Okay, so console.log this. I feel like my loop is okay. At least It feels correct. Plus plus I. Did I do plus plus I? I did I plus plus. So should it be plus plus I? Plus plus I. Hold on. Pulling up my notes because I wrote I plus plus on my notes, so maybe either one works. Plus plus I versus I plus plus JavaScript. Pew, 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 pew. Oh, okay. The value of I plus plus is the value of I before the increment. The value of plus II is after. The hero Mia deserves, but not the one they need right now. Look, I'm just happy to make this more fun than it would be if I were doing this on my own and just banging my head against the wall. So let's see. This is the value of I before the increment. Okay, so I think I need to do I plus plus. I don't think that was the problem. Because I want to start with 0, right? I want to start with the first one in the array. Okay. Oh, wallbangers. Wallburgers? Oh, did it pop up on my, like, this? Or something? Or is it an ad? Probably an ad. No, that's just like, go to Azure. I don't know why you brought that up, but, you know, it happens. Okay. So the part that I'm probably messing up. This is true. Sometimes Fee just says stuff, and we appreciate that. I feel like the part that I'm messing up has to do with the objects and accessing objects in an array, because that has always been tricky for me. So let me look. I'm looking at my physical notes, and I'll probably pull up some notes. Oh, banging head against the wall. Let's see. Yeah. I'll let you know. First, I wanna give it a good old college try. But you know, I appreciate your hints. You do a good level of hint. So, objects. Properties are stored as strings but can be numbers. Quotes can be omitted. Okay, so that my question from earlier, that answers that. Non-string properties are typecast as strings. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I don't think that this is necessarily wrong, because non-string properties are typecast as strings is the thing I just said, but I think I'm gonna do just an equality thing instead of a strict equality, just because it seems unnecessary, and I don't want to work that for no reason. Okay, yeah, that didn't fix it, but I thought, you know. Okay, so I feel like, okay. Tell me if anything I say is incorrect here. I feel like this part is correct. And if it's not, I'll dive in more. But otherwise, I want to move on to the next part. Shut up, Fee. Okay, that's correct. So this part, I want to look more into this has own property, which I think I have open. This is loops. This is for loops. Loops. All I have is loops. All I have is loops. So let's see. Has own property. Returns a Boolean indicating whether it has it, as opposed to inheriting it. Has own property. Prop. Is that what I did? Yes. The string name or symbol of the property returns true, false otherwise. I want a more complicated example. Okay, example dot has own property prop. False, true. See, is there a time limit to this webcam? Well, so the class I'm doing is just like do it whenever. The boot camp I was doing has ended, so I'm behind in that regard. But like the class is really just at your own pace, which is nice. So it returns true or false, but I'm getting confused about whether or not I need to say like this equals true, this equals false. So I'm gonna go back into has own, maybe property, accessing properties, updating, testing for properties. Here we go. I'm gonna look at this again. It returns true or false. I wish fantasy jobs existed IRL. I want to be an alchemist like FMA. Not like FMA, but more like the Atelier series. Yeah, I think the biggest fantasy about like fantasy jobs is that you can do whatever and that it would pay a living wage and like you could live your life and be happy. That's I think that's the biggest fantasy, because like I want to do like a Kiki's delivery service where you have the bakery on the bottom and you live on top and you know everyone in the community and you deliver bread to them. But I don't think you could do that and make a living wage, at least in the US. It feels like running a food business is a surefire way to not make money. And that's sad. Okay, like I know it. Okay. What? I'm going to look at the hints on this one because I want to see what the solution is. Time to get isekai'd. Okay. If this, else this. Okay, so this is really simple. They're saying if it has this, and they're not saying equals true, then do this, else do this. So maybe what I need to do here on the second part, let me try this. Hello, Google. Is this code anyone does? Because what they did is else do this. If object has own property, check prop return. Okay, well, let me steal that because I want to make sure my return is correct. Yeah, okay. I feel good about that. And I feel good about this. But I'm confused about this because a burger flipper, was transported to a world where burger flipping can pay for a home? Whoa. Or like jobs that are generally not respected, like get you social respect and like a relationship and stuff. I don't know. Burger flipper is so condescending, and it's like, what do you do? I look at a computer all day. Is that harder? Sometimes it's mentally harder, but like physically I don't have to stand all day. Like, I don't know. I've done enough service work to be respectful. Burger flipper. Blech. Okay. let's look at Stack Overflow. Why not? A lot of farming isekai. Wait, his power is he can use Amazon on a fantasy setting. That's actually kind of lit. Actually, okay, we were in Berlin. I don't remember what I needed, maybe like a charger or something, but I was looking for, yeah, it was a charger. Because they have different power outlets in Europe, right? So I was looking for a charger that would deliver quickly. And turns out that like Amazon same day just like never caught on there. So they don't have a lot of quick Amazon stuff. Cause I was like, oh, I can even get it tomorrow, like whatever. But you know, I just want it delivered to the hotel. Cause I've done that a million times traveling in the US is like, oh, I forgot this, or like, oh, I need medication I didn't realize I would need, or you know, whatever thing. Bring me the Advil to my room. And that is just not a thing in Berlin. So that would be an interesting superpower. It's useful to use it when you enumerate the properties of an object. If you want this, look here. No. Key value pairs that have meta information. You're looping through this. Filters out because it says, does it have these? It returns this. True. Returns true. I'm not seeing, like, I want an example where they do something if it's false. So I'm wondering two things. Oh, here we go. Practical applications. If it has this, do this. Okay. So I'm wondering if what we actually want to do is change the order of this. Okay, I will accept a hint. I'm stuck on this because this one assumes like if I'm saying, hey, does it have this property, and it is true, it's returning the property. But is this correct that I can do if this equals false? Do I feel like more parentheses could help. Or is the order of my loop wrong? Like the other thought I had is like maybe I change it so it's like maybe the name goes up one. You're checking the properties, okay. It will return true or false, so comparing it to false is fine. Okay, so that's not the problem. The order of things, okay. So let's see. Well, I can always just move this and move it back if I need to. God, I felt bad last week because Sam KitKat was in here and was like, wow, your formatting is ruining my life. And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. Please don't look at me. Okay. I don't think that would fix it. But yeah, I know. I we did something. Like, why isn't it working is the question. I don't want to cheat. I don't want to look at the actual solution. Actually, maybe I could do... First, let's check if the name... Okay. I'm moving it around. Here's what we're going to do. First, is there a name? Does the name match? If not, return no such contact. Else, okay, yes, okay. Brain blast. Okay. Because this already checks to see if there's the name. So I don't have to define it again here necessarily, because we're going in order. So first it says, is that person there? If not, we return no such contact. The person's there. Then we check to see if it has this property. If it does, we return the value. Then if it doesn't have the property, so I could remove a lot of this extra stuff. Tell me if that isn't correct. But also, I don't think that's gonna fix it. Yeah. Like something else is wrong. Something bigger is wrong here. Let's pause and think about what that does. That's what I'm doing. Because we want to check. Dedication is talent all on its own. Wow. Thank you, Alphonse. I needed that. Probably. If the name doesn't match, you're returning no such contact. Right. The loop doesn't continue when you do that. Oh, so I'm not telling it to then keep looping. Me confidently, the loop is looping. Okay, loops, where'd you go? Did I close you? Okay. For loops and JavaScript else statements. Like I'm doing both and that's confusing. Here we go. Okay, this says no. This is bad stuff. Return will break out of the loop. Okay, return will break out of the for loop and immediately stop it from continuing. There's a few other keywords you can use, but I'm not sure if they've taught them that. You can also solve it a different way that would avoid that. Okay, let me see what the hints are. Use a for loop. Use nested if statement to check if first name matches and then if prop matches. Leave your final return out of the for loop. Leave your return no such contact. Well, then that's like, but that's the one I put first. Hey. But okay. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to try that. And then we're going to talk through why it wants me to do that. We're going to learn. We're going to get some knowledge. So this is the loop. This is out the loop. I guess. This doesn't feel right, but whatever. Unexpected token. Maybe it's just contact is not defined. I is not defined. Oh, because loop. That if can't live outside the loop because you're using I, which only exists for the loop. Yeah. we figured that out at the same time because it gave me that, and I was like, I see. Excuse me. This doesn't think like, I don't think this is anything. Okay, what? We got some test passing. This is stupid. Hello. Code is stupid. There, you heard it here. It is silly and it doesn't make sense. So why doesn't that have to be in the loop? Because I thought, okay, so the ones that worked are the no such contact ones. Okay, so we've got one piece of the 3 pieces working right now. And okay. Okay, so here's what's confusing to me. I thought we had to put all this in a loop so it would go through each object in the array. Why don't we have to do that for this? Like, if this doesn't match this, why? Why don't we have to loop through it? Is it because it's not 2 properties? Or like it's not 2 2 property names that we're looking at the same time? This is less of a code specific thing and more of a problem solving thing. Your loop says for every contact, check their first name. If it matches and they have the prop, return the prop. If it matches and they don't, return no such property. Yeah. By the end of the for loop, you know you didn't find any contact with the name. Oh. I mean, so we don't even have to check to see if this. It would just be like, if none of those, return this, right? You don't even have to have an if statement. Your loop already validated that. Got it. Okay. I don't like it, but it's true. That makes sense. Thank you for explaining it to me. But I hate it. I really feel like sometimes the exercises in here just get really hard out of nowhere. I'm not sure that they were like, by the way, here's some advanced logic. Good luck. Okay, but if I remove the if statement, because it terminates, so let's say this is correct. The return terminates the loop, right? Let's say this is correct. The return terminates the loop. If neither of these is correct and it goes through all the different things in the array, all the objects, and I know I don't need the if statement because we're not, like, it already is true, right? But like, if I just do return no such contact, is this still, what am I saying? I guess because it's still part of the same function, it's not going to just return it unless it goes through the loop first. Is that correct? So I could just say return no such contact. Okay. Just to clean it up. Just so we can read it better. I'll make it a little simpler. Okay. Okay, so that's 1/3 of it. Let me look at the hints again. Use a nested if statement to see if first name matches and then check if the prop matches. I like that everybody, look how many people are struggling with this one. It's hard, y'all. Also, some of the, like, I'm not fully reading this, but a lot of this is completely not stuff that we've learned. So I'm like, lol. Okay. Use a for loop. Check. Use a nested if statement to first see if first name matches. Yes. and then checks if prop matches. It's not returning the right thing. I think my if is right. So maybe I need to look at my return. What? If it's some quotes I don't have somewhere. If it's some freaking quotes. What is it? You can tell me. If it's a stupid thing I'm not going to figure out. Okay. Contacts. Right, because the array name is contacts with an S. Well, that didn't fix it, so. Unless there's another one. Let's see. Contacts. Okay, great news. That wasn't the problem. And I don't think anything else returned correctly. Yeah, still the same thing. So let's see. Wild that wasn't the problem. Okay, I love that even you're like, huh? I'm just going to make this a string and see what happens. Okay, cool. That wasn't it either. Yeah, the name of the array is contacts. With an S. Okay, let me look at this. That should be right to access the value of the object. This is saying the array is contacts, the ith iteration, whatever iteration or number we're on right now. Give me the value for that. I don't want to cheat. I don't want to cheat. Accessing object properties with variables. My dog. Note that we do not use quotes around the variable name because we're using the value of the variable, not the name. Good. I feel like I understand that. Another use of bracket notation on objects is to access a property which is stored as the value of a variable. That's interesting. That you don't even know what's up. All right, we're looking at a solution. But I'm going to go one line at a time because I don't want to cheat here, right? Like I want to learn. Let I equal 0. I is greater than contacts dot length. They did dot length instead of dot r length, but either one should be fine, right? Because I believe they did. Yeah, I did. I believe dot r length is the one that they taught me, but whatever, it should be fine. But let me switch it to length just in case that's it. I don't think that's it. That would be absolutely wild that it didn't flag it as like a syntax error. Here's what it was. I had this as contacts.rlength. And it didn't flag that as a problem. Yeah, that's... Why is programming? Oh, I see. Okay, actually... my notes are messy. So... in my notes, I'll just type it in here. In my notes, I thought it said I is greater than r length, like that. But it's I is greater than r dot length. So r being the array name. But I didn't see the dot because I had put a box around it. So it just looked like r length was the name of the thing. But like, why wouldn't they flag that? Doesn't that seem like a syntax error? They'd be like, unexpected, do not know what this means. What's the point of errors if they're not going to code for me? In Kotlin, you wouldn't even be able to run that. That's what I mean. Like, it's interesting that they let me run that and didn't say like, here's the problem. So both of my problems, once I figured out everything else, the two main issues were actually spelling errors, basically. I don't know how to handle that information. Are you in a space where you can receive information that may hurt you? Christ. What a time to be alive. Okay. I want to like celebrate, but I mostly want to be mad. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We solved the problem. If this was Dora the Explorer, we would sing a song about it, you know? Hell yeah, problem solved. Thank you, Fee. Thank you. Was it stupid? Undeniably. Is programming just stupid? It feels like a clickbait. Like, this one weird trick will prove that programming, it makes no sense, or whatever, you know. Aw, thank you, thank you. I need a porcelain cat. I need like I have some Furbies. I have some water. I have a candle. Got nothing. Okay, so that was profile lookup. There we go. You can show Miles. He's not in here. Yeah, I don't see him. And I'm not calling him here just to show him because he will be like, oh, is it playtime? It's JavaScript time, Miles. We're taking this so seriously. Okay, also, it said I was 92% done with this JavaScript class. So there's this whole course is called JavaScript Algorithms and Data Structures, right? But within that, there's basic JavaScript, which is what we're 92% done with. And the other two are the other, I guess there's more than two, but the other ones are a lot shorter in terms of how many lessons there are. So this is going to be the hardest one in terms of learning stuff. So it's so weird that I've taken, I guess I'm going to switch screens for a sec. And then we'll dive back into the next thing. But like, so I've taken a JavaScript like intro course before, but it was designed for front end. So I think it was mainly like web design based, which is a little bit different in that, I mean, I guess for loops could be a thing, but we didn't learn loops or anything, right? Like that wasn't the goal. so it's, but I was like, yeah, I have a little bit of background in JavaScript. And like, then I started this and I was like, no, I don't know what I'm doing. So it's just interesting how different it can be depending on what your goal with it is. So yeah, it'd be cool if we could get through this part of the JavaScript class today. Let's see what we can do. You're a lot smarter than me, which leads me to believe I'd have no hope to learn code. I don't think that's true. I think it really is dependent on, man, I don't know, a lot of things. Because again, like the front end stuff clicks with my brain better. I think because you can see the output a little bit easier. And these sort of logic puzzles are new to me. Like a lot of the time, like obviously I have syntactical errors in my code. I don't remember how things are supposed to look like, but a lot of it is also logic errors because Colby's like, or Coding Vibe, you're like, oh, your loop is not doing what you think it's doing. Or like you need to use a loop because you forgot that this doesn't do what you think it's doing. Like that kind of stuff. And that just takes practice. Like I don't have a lot of experience doing that. But again, like the front end stuff, I finished the front end design cert way faster than they said I would, in terms of like, they said, oh, it'll take like 300 hours equivalent or whatever. It did not. So I think it's just dependent on what your natural strengths are and what your goals are with it. And also like your motivation for learning to code. Cause like logic, my worst enemy, right? Like you're like, I hate puzzles, and you know what? I respect that. But yeah, like it might not be for you. But if you were like, you know what, I really want to, like, I think I could learn enough to switch careers, and that's important to me for these reasons, and blah, blah, blah. Like if you have the motivation, then you can, I think you could put your mind to it and do it. I don't think it's a matter of being smart. I think it's a matter of practice. Your major problem with debugging is you're like, I have a basket of things that have fixed other problems that I can go through, and you don't have the experience to know which of those things you can try are most likely to work. Yes. Yeah. Like, well, and because I'm not comfortable with the actual, like my error could be as big as none of this code is doing what you think it's going to do, or as small as you misspelled the word contacts. And both of those are equally important in that they will stop the code from executing, right? So I don't have confidence in my code yet enough to be like, oh, it's probably a stupid error, like or like a small error, like I don't have a parentheses in the right spot or something like that. I don't have the confidence to know what level the problem is at, whether it's a logical issue or a smaller like syntactical issue or a typo or whatever, right? So I'm hoping as I do this more, I will get better at that kind of stuff. As with all things, it's experience, right? So let's go to the next one, which is generate random fractions with JavaScript, which I know about math.random. I'm going to eat my own words, aren't I? What I mean is I know that this is a thing. I don't know how much I've done with it. RNG time. I'm looking for, what am I looking for? I feel like my music is a little quiet. I'm going to turn it up a bit, but let me know if it starts getting distracting. Okay. That is a great emote. So I don't have, my emotes on this channel are mostly like, these are the main ones I'm thinking of right now. They're like kind of like everything's going wrong vibes, or like evil vibes. I need a celebratory one for when things go right. I mean, maybe the bongo, because look at that on the screen. Is that not wonderful? Although it's not animated, but it's like, yeah, we did it. I need a celebratory one for when things go right. Yeah, little Feebergs all over the place. Love it. JavaScript has a math.random function that generates a random decimal number between 0 inclusive and 1 exclusive. Thus, math.random can return a 0 but never a 1. Note, like storing values with an assignment operator, all function calls will be resolved before the return executes, so we can return the value of the math.random function. All function calls will be resolved before the return. So all the stuff above it will be resolved before the return. Change random fraction to return a random number instead of returning 0. Okay. Is that right? Is that it? Hey, wow, that was so hard. Okay, but now they're gonna like actually challenge me, right? Yeah, if y'all have any ideas, like I could also do a stream points thing that like plays a sound or makes something happen on the screen if we solve the problem. Yeah, like a rap air horn. Yeah, I don't know. I want some celebratory stuff, like, because that took me a stream and a bit, and I feel like I deserve it. Okay, generate random whole numbers with JavaScript. It's great that we can generate decimal numbers, but it's even more useful if we can use it to generate random whole numbers. Celebrate with water. Cheers. I hope you are drinking water or whatever liquid of your choice as well. So what's the thing? It's like the feminine urge to have 3 beverages at all time, 1 for hydration, 1 for caffeination, and 1 for fun. I don't have a fun drink right now, but I do have, I consider my current caffeination drink a fun drink. Friday is a Starbucks day for us, Friday treat day. And usually I get I've been on a sugar cookie latte kick with oat milk instead of almond milk because I prefer oat. This one, though, they were out today. So I got a hazelnut latte, and it is delicious. I think hazelnut is underappreciated in the coffee realm. What kind of coffee, Fee? Anything exciting or just like plain black coffee? Okay. I had a feeling it would be multiply the decimal to get a whole number. So use this to generate a decimal, multiply it by 20. Use another function, math.floor, to round it down to its nearest whole number. And then I'm guessing that math.ceiling rounds it up to the nearest whole number. Ooh, Folgers drip coffee, a classic. Remember, math.random can never quite return a 1, and because we're rounding down, it's impossible to get 20. This technique will give us a number between 0 and 19. Oh man, a lot of math. Yes, hazelnut, yes! Hazelnut supremacy over here. So putting everything together, this is what our code looks like. Math.floor, and there's math.round as well, which does either floor or ceiling, depending on if it's, like a regular round, regular old rounding. Wait, under 0.5 or over. Got it. Math.floor. Math random times 20. We're calling math random, multiplying it by 20, and then passing the value to math floor function to round it down. This is probably, I wouldn't have realized you could put the function in the function, but that makes sense. So now we want to basically do the same thing, but return a random number between 0 and 9. So that means we're going to do 10 instead of 20, is my understanding. So we'll return, instead of returning math.random, we'll return math.floor of math.random. The value of math.random times 10. Boop. Nailed it. Wow. See, okay. How come some of them are this easy and some of them are the contacts one? One day I will become a monthly contributor, but you're never going to get that while I'm on stream. Okay, generate random whole numbers within a range. Instead of generating a random whole number between 0 and a given number, we can generate a random whole number that falls within a range of 2 specific numbers, min and max. Okay. Here's the formula we'll use. Take a moment to read it and try to understand what the code is doing. My life, literally, this is all I try to do at all times. Math.floor, so we're rounding down to the nearest whole number of a random number between max minus min plus 1 plus min. Let's see. So we're multiplying it by whatever the maximum is minus whatever the minimum is plus 1. Interesting. There's so many things are happening here. So let's try to think about this with a real number. So let's say our max is 10 and our min is 0. Max minus min is 10 plus 1 is 11. Oh, okay. So what? I like that it's like, take a moment to read this and understand what the code is doing. And then it doesn't like then have a description of what the code is doing. I want to look at hints. Well, I don't need a hint for the solution. Yeah, here we go. I don't get the range concept. This is what I need. Creates the distance between the minimum and the maximum. Yeah, I kind of get that because you're taking the max, you're subtracting the minimum, you're adding 1 because probably you need to so that it's not 0 or something. The description is under the code. No, this is the challenge. This is what they want me to do. Oh. Like the Garfuccino guy. What makes no sense to me is how adding the min at the end lets the computer know it needs to shift that distance down or increase the value. If you still don't get it, let me know. Okay. Shift that distance down or increase the min value. My thinking goes. We multiply by the size of the range to scale the random number. Okay. We then add the minimum value to shift our scaled number into the range. Okay. I feel like I get that. At least when they say it, I'm like, yeah. But we'll see. Also, I relate. I have ADHD. Please be nice to me. We don't want a random decimal, we want a random number. So we multiply it, we want them from here. So that's why we get the max minus the min plus 1. We don't want decimals though, we want them, that's math floor, got it. So now we're getting a number from 0 to whatever the range size was. If we wanted a number from 7 to 11, it's a random number from 0 to 5. So to make that, okay. To make that number from 7 to 11, we need to add 7. 7 is our minimum value. Can I react? Clap. I'm not logged in, but like, thank you. This is the one. Like, yeah, that's what I needed. I needed like examples with numbers because, yeah, just being like, this is the minimum and that's why you do it. I need a concrete example over here. Okay. So create a function called random range. There we go. It takes my min and my max and returns a random whole number that's greater than or equal to my min and is less than or equal to my max inclusive. So I think we're literally just kind of doing the same thing that's here. Times, or my max minus my, whoa, I need parentheses. My min plus 1 plus my min. Is that right? Yep. Okay, cool. That is one of those things where when it actually comes up in a like real word problem with real consequences, I'm gonna have to go back to that and look and like really get it, but I feel comfortable enough for now. Use the parse int. I'm guessing that's parse integer. That's how you say that word. Function. Here is the parse integer function. It parses a string and return. Yeah, I've had to do that a number of times in my code and come to that same algorithm every time and feel so smart. Wait, you mean like you, instead of looking up like, oh, this is what that should be based on what I'm doing, you realize that those are the things you need to do and just write it correctly because you understand the logic? Imagine that. This is how I know that you are on another level. It's like in math class when they're like, oh, if you understand the logic behind why the formula is this way, then you can recreate the formula because, like, 3.14 is pi, and what we're trying to do with the circle. So you can just, you're like, oh, I have the diameter. Here's what I do with it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, not there. No, I am not there. Okay, so here's an example. Parses a string, returns an integer. So this is parsing 007, converts it to 7. Okay, this seems useful. If the first character can't be converted, then it returns not a number, NaN. So we have this function. We're going to use parse int so that it converts the input string to an integer and then returns it. Oh, well then should it be returned that? No. I think the quotes don't need to be there. There we go. Use the parse int function with a radix. Wow, they sure are not defining that word. All right, Google. What is the base system of numeration? The number of digits utilized in a positional number system before rolling over to the next digit's place. For example, in the base 10 number system, there's a total of 10 digits used, 0 through 9, so it's 10. This is dumb. Or, sorry. This is silly. Takes a second argument, which specifies the base number of the string. It can be an integer between 2 and 36. I hate whatever this is. I hate it. Okay, the function looks like it takes string. It takes. Is it called? How do I say? They knew. Radix. Radix.
Radix.
Radix.
Radix.
Radix.
Radix.
Radix. Okay. It doesn't roll off the tongue over here. Yeah, so binary is 2 because it's zeros and 1. 0, 1, 2 things. Hexadecimal is 16. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But also, I don't see a world where I'm using this, and thinking about ways to use it makes me want to quit programming. Radix. Okay. Here's an example. Parse int 11 and 2. JavaScript is pain. Yes. Also, hi. It says you're your first time chatter. I appreciate you popping by. I'm currently writing the JavaScript Strugglebus. So yes, JavaScript is pain. I miss Python. One day I'll get back to Python, but I have to get through this JavaScript shit first. That's fine. Okay. So here's an example. This says that 11 is in the system, is in the binary system or base 2. Okay, so the 2 is the radix. That's binary because it's 0 and 1. This converts the string 11 into an integer 3. Literally when, I don't even want to know when I would use this because I don't like it. Okay, use parse int in the convert to integer function. So it converts a binary number, so we're using 2 for the radix, to an integer and returns it. So, or I guess return parse int string 2. Is that right? Let's see. Yep, that's it. Okay. Now I can forget that existed. Use the conditional ternary operator. Ooh, yes. I remember we did some Googling about this once. I don't remember why, but I think there was something where they just started using the word ternary like I knew what that meant. Woo, ternary. I see we have some ternary fans in the audience today. Woo, ternary hype. Okay, the conditional operator, also called the ternary operator, can be used as a one-line if-else expression. Okay, that seems helpful. The syntax is A question mark B colon C. A is the condition, B is the code to run when the condition returns true, C is the code to run when the condition returns false. Wait, this seems so useful. This seems way easier than a long if-else. I feel like I've definitely seen you do this on your stream, Coding Vibe. And I'm like, wow, that sounds... Yeah, look how much longer this is than this. Fascinating. Okay. So use the conditional operator in the check equal function to check if two numbers are equal or not. The function should return either the string equal or not equal. Okay. So return, then we have A question mark B colon C. A is the condition. We're trying to figure out if A is equal to B. You can also use it to assign variables. If the second one is when the condition returns true. So if it is, we return the string equal. If it's not, we return the string not equal. Gosh, it feels like we need like more parentheses or something. Like this feels too simple. But that's it. Var max value A is greater than B. A, B. Huh. This is cool. Use multiple conditional / ternary operators. In the previous challenge, you used a single one. You can also chain them together to check for multiple conditions. Oh my gosh, this seems so much easier than a bunch of if statements because like there's just so many more characters to mess up. So here's the version of the function with if statements. If A is equal to B, return A and B are equal. Else, if A is greater than B, return A is greater. Else, return B is greater. The above function can be rewritten using multiple conditional operators. Return A equals B, question mark. A and B are equal. Hi, Twitty Such. Oh my gosh, hello, it's good to see you. Yes, I know, I listened to MCR one time and then I was like, I have to do my makeup like Gerard Way or else I'll die. It just felt right. You know how sometimes it just feels right. I realized I think I'm trying to be the pop punk teen that I never was as a teen because I was too afraid. And now I'm old and I want to do all the fun things. I don't know why they teach you this first. This is so much easier. I mean, I get why they teach you that first, but come on. This almost it's weird that it's just a colon. Like that's so much simpler. Okay, so if A is equal to B is true, return A and B are equal. If it's not true, or I guess if A is greater than B, return this, else this. Wow, okay. It's considered best practice to format multiple conditional operators such that each condition is on a separate line as shown above. Yeah, that makes sense because otherwise it's just kind of like, bruh. Yeah, see, look, this is a lot harder to read. It's because you're just like colon. Okay, so in the check sign function, use multiple conditional operators following the recommended format to check if a number is positive, negative, or zero. By the way, Twitty Such, I hope you're having a good Friday. It's a Friday treat day over here, so I've got my Starbucks. It's a hazelnut latte today, but I've been on a sugar cookie latte vibe lately, and they were sold out this morning, and it was very tragic. Got my Starbies, yes! Do you have class today, or are you doing something else? Check whether a number is positive, negative, or zero. The function should return positive, negative, or zero. I only have class early in the morning. Ooh, I mean, I guess that's could be better, could be worse, depends on who you are as a human being, but it's kind of nice to get it done with like first thing, right? Okay, so if num is greater than 0, return positive. I am a disgusting morning person. I think I'm a morning person who repeatedly stays up too late. I think if, like, there have been times in my life where I've been that person that goes to bed at like 9 p.m. and then I wake up in the morning and I'm like, wow, I'm so refreshed and ready for the day. But because of the way that my life is now and how little like control I have over what time I wake up, I think I like stay up late and do the revenge bedtime thing. Yeah, exactly. And then I'm like, I'm tired. So I think I'm only not a morning person because of my own shortcomings, but I think I naturally would be a morning person because I do like, I don't know. You can ask Coding Vibe, but I was just vibing this morning. I was like, yeah, good morning. I'm singing. We're vibing. We're having a good time. But I'm also just excited it's Friday. Okay, so if num is less than 0, that means it's negative. And then if num is exactly equal to 0, not numb. I've become so numb. Okay, I think on the last one, I don't necessarily have to say if it's equal to 0. It's just kind of like else it is 0. And I'm going to practice doing that because the logic bits are the things that get me. I think that's right. Yay, I did it! Pew, 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 pew. Y'all, I think we're going to finish the JavaScript class today. At least the first part. Oh no, recursion. Oh no! Using recursion to create a countdown. In a previous challenge, you learned how to use recursion to replace a for loop. Now let's look at a more complex function that returns an array of consecutive integers starting with 1 through the number passed through the function. Do you ever read a sentence and it's so boring? As mentioned in the previous challenge, there will be a base case. Twitty such you get me. There will be a base case. The base case tells the recursive function when it no longer needs to call itself. It is a simple case where the return value is already known. There will also be a recursive call which executes the original function with different arguments. If the function is written correctly, eventually the base case will be reached. Okay. Excuse me while I put on my shirt here. I got cold. The entire book, The Sound and the Fury, literally, and this is not hyperbole, bored me to tears. Wow. What? Now I need to look up this book. Oh, Faulkner. This checks out. Oh, I was like, wait, I know this. Yeah, this is from Macbeth. You absolute dweeb. It is nearly unanimously considered to be a masterpiece, but its unconventional narrative style frequently alienates new readers. I will say, okay, I read the book, what is it, Mrs. Dalloway? What? Mrs. Dalloway book, and that also is very stream of conscious. But it was fine. I mean, I stuck with it. I understood it. It was easy. Yeah. That's why it's interesting that they're like, yes, it's the same. I mean, not the same, but I guess like it immediately reminded me of that because they're like, it's stream of conscious and it's hard to understand. And I'm like, well, Mrs. Dalloway was stream of conscious and it was easy to understand and I loved it. So It is viewed as an essential development in the stream of consciousness literary technique. There we go. Virginia Woolf. Virginia Woolf. Yes. Okay. The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. Actually very lit. Great poem. Can you tell that I almost, okay, Mrs. Dalloway came out first, just saying. Can you tell I almost got an English degree? It's a very good poem. I think about it all the time, because there's a line in it about I've measured my life in coffee spoons. It's so good. But then I remember T.S. Eliot wrote cats, like all the cat stuff, and you're like, Yeah, okay. So it's a really long poem. It's more like a story that is a poem, right? But this, like, there's several lines in it that have like stuck with me, which is like one of the parts is like, to wonder, do I dare? And do I dare? Time to turn back and descend the stair, blah, 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 blah. But I love, do I dare disturb the universe? Oh, shivers. Do I dare disturb the universe? In a minute there is time for decisions and revisions which a minute will reverse. For I have known them all already, known them all. Have known the evenings, mornings, afternoons. I've measured out my life with coffee spoons. I know the voice is dying with a dying fall beneath the music from a further room. So how should I presume? Like, come on. Come on. That's so good. And like, you can sit there and evaluate every single line and like find more hidden meanings and find the different layers and stuff. But I feel like you can just read that and be like, oh, I get it. Right? Like, I think that's such a lot of literature and a lot of poetry feels like you have to sit down and evaluate it before you get it and appreciate it. And I feel like this poem is accessible in a way that a lot of stuff doesn't feel like it is. Yeah. It's similar experience to being in a liminal space. Yeah, I think that's what's so interesting. I don't know. It's just like there are so many things described in this that feel very familiar, but not necessarily the way you've ever heard it described before. Yeah. Such a good ideal book club stream win. Literally now it's happening. And then what was the other part I really like about this? Oh yeah. This repeats a couple times, but that is not what I meant at all. That is not it at all. And then like he's talking about it is impossible to say just what I mean. Is that not relatable? Oh man. So good. I read this for the first time in college and I was like, like I'm I don't know. It's like the first time you hear the line, I'm the captain of my fate, I'm the something of my soul. You're like, I can't believe art is real. It's so good. Yes, and that's why it's weird that I like that poem and also weird that Cats exists and all the Cats related poems. I haven't read the like actual poems. Like I know I believe it's like a book that's a collection of poems about cats that are semi-related. And then Andrew Lloyd Webber was like, this has to be a musical where people play cats. Sometimes we do weird shit even when we do nice things. True. The first time I knew art was real was when Denji said he got attacked by the nut devil. Yeah, I was about to say, now that all the people interested in programming have left the stream because we're talking about T.S. Eliot. But you're still here. I mean, Chainsaw Man is art. It's just on a different level than the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock. And that's fine. I can appreciate both. Okay, back to recursion. Oh, good. Fee's still here. He heard the call, the siren call of the words nut devil. Okay, let's say you want to write a recursive or recursive? Is it Z or S? Yeah, recursion. Yeah, you zoomed back in at the time when we're doing recursion. It returns an array containing the numbers 1 through n. This function will need to accept an argument n representing the final number. Then it will need to call itself with progressively smaller values of n until it reaches 1. You could write the function as follows. Oh my god, it's so long. The value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be displayed in the console. At first, this seems counterintuitive since the value of n decreases, but the values had a bad case of recursion last night. Hey, Fee, did you have a good night? It was actually pretty rough. I had a bad case of recursion. This happens because the push happens last after the recursive call has been returned at the point where n is pushed into the array has already been evaluated and returned. Oh my god. I don't know that my brain is comprehending this, but let's see. We have defined a function called countdown with one parameter, n. Okay. The function should use recursion to return an array containing the integers n through 1 based on the n parameter. If the function is called with a number less than 1, the function should return an empty array. For example, calling it with n equals 5 should return 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your function must use recursion by calling itself and must not use loops of any kind. Okay. What a time to be alive. If n is less than 1, we're returning an empty array, which is just like that. I watched one YouTube video about a Jesus TV show, and now YouTube keeps giving me trad content. It was literally one video. Dude. So number one, we let Bigums watch, I say let, whatever. We watched our first episode of Sesame Street, and it was on my YouTube account, and now YouTube is like, Sesame Street, 3 full episodes, all about dinosaurs. And I'm like, come on. Go back to showing me my RuPaul's Drag Race adjacent content. Do we need to make Bigums his own YouTube account? Okay. You can download the kids app, and I don't think you need an account. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so we use the PlayStation 5 as our primary TV situation in the living room because we have the PS5 and it has most TV apps, but I don't think it, I wonder if it has YouTube Kids. I don't think it does. Kid rages after getting fake PS5 for Christmas. Yeah, that's mean to do, actually. How do I restrict YouTube? No. How to create a child account. Yeah, that seems hard. Yeah, I don't do this to your kid, actually. Don't prank your kid to be mean for no reason. Kid lies to get PS5. I mean, yeah, do that. Yeah, so it doesn't look as easy as, like, we could make a family account, but I don't want to have to switch accounts every time we want to watch Sesame Street or whatever. What I think we need to do is just, like, buy a Roku or equivalent for the living room. They're not expensive. It's just silly. Shout out to the weird meme going around where women lie about having a date plan to see what their husbands do. What? Okay. I saw, too, that people were talking about, that there was a meme, or not a meme, but like a trend going around TikTok where you would tell people that like a celebrity was dead, like I guess a celebrity that you cared about, to get their reaction. And like, why are we just trying to exploit people like this? Do not understand. Yeah, literally, like, for the TikTok content, like, evaluate your life, okay? Especially when children are involved. I'm just like, can we not? Yeah, for the content. For the content. Maybe come up with some good content. There's also like, if my partner told me we had a date planned, but that wasn't true, I'd be mortified. Like, yeah, like what does that, like, so are they like, oh, we're going to go on a date? Just kidding. We're not going on a date? Or like, what is the joke? Yeah. I was going to say like, not just TikTok, but other like short form video. They have like, there's entire people where their whole content is just pretending that situations are happening that aren't. So like maybe something like, I gave my kid a fake PS5, but everyone that's involved is in on the joke. Or like it's just acting. And you'll notice that like it's the same people in the same videos over and over again, but they'll be like, my brother didn't know that my sister-in-law did, you know, whatever stuff. And then you're like, oh, I see. Like you're rage clickbait. That's your goal in life, is to make money by making weird scenarios. They get super dressed up. They tell their husband they have a date plan that's not true, and see how they scramble. That's just mean. Like, you know what's like, maybe this doesn't get the views, but like, what would be more wholesome is being like, hey, surprise, I planned you a date. Get dressed up and like, we'll go do something fun, and it'll be like surprising my husband with a date for our anniversary or whatever. I saw one where like, to celebrate something that their kid had done, a mom was like, you know, giving pieces of paper. It's like, pick one and then we'll go do that. And both of the choices, it wasn't like one good choice and then one bad choice. It's like, we're either going to get ice cream or you have to do homework, right? It was like, get ice cream or get milkshakes or something like that. And that's how they like plan their day. Was like, there was like, we can either go to this store or that store. We can either get this dessert or that dessert. We can, you know, that kind of thing. And like, that was kind of fun because it's not like either of the options was bad. The kid got to have a great time. Yeah. Like, there's a trend where a guy will be like, I'm going to let my best friend date my girlfriend for a day. Hope I don't get mad. Literally, why? I would not be a good person to do this to. I'd be like, I have stuff to do tonight and I don't think you told me about this. Yeah, that's true. You're too busy at night for that to even work as a prank. Because, like, one, we have a baby, so we would need a babysitter to even leave the house together. And then two, you'd be like, I'm streaming. Like, I would have put this on my calendar. Why didn't you send me a calendar request? Like, our version of this TikTok would be so boring. We're too organized, or maybe too busy. I don't know. That's, I hate this. And then the worst part is, whether you're on TikTok, whether you're on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, if you click on one of these because there's some clickbait thing or like the thumbnail looks interesting, then they're like, oh, you want to see more of these, right? So like, I clicked one thing because it had some clickbaity thing that was like, something about like, my partner died while I was in high school and it turns out I was pregnant with his child, or something like extreme like that. And I was like, oh no, like what? And I clicked through, or maybe they worded it more confusingly. So I was like, huh? But I clicked through and then it turns out it was like an advertisement for someone's book. Like, that was the premise of the book, but they just used like, I'm assuming some random woman's like video of like her looking sad at the camera the way you do on a TikTok or whatever. And then apparently that's just a whole version of like book marketing these days, is like almost like pretending to be the character and putting it out like that so that it's like interesting. And then it's like, read more in my book title here in the comments. Right. But like, so I clicked one of those and I figured out what it was and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, that's interesting that that's a thing. And then Instagram was like, oh, so you want to see these? And it just started showing me a ton of them. I was like, no. Now that I know, I'm not as interested actually. If I got pranked, like, let's meet at a place to have dinner and they didn't show up, I'd still eat and then leave and then cut them out of my life forever. Yes, as you should, because that's not a prank. I'm getting riled up, but like, I don't get why we're mean to people we care about. I don't think that's a valuable trait in a partner or friend or family member, is to be mean. The only clickbait I trust is Tom Scott because his odd titles are true. I don't know who that is, but I do love someone with like, there's this like chemistry guy. Oh God, I'm going to describe it poorly, but there's this chemistry guy that Coding Vibe follows that's like, I made salt out of diamonds or something. Yeah, Niles Red. Yeah, exactly. Even my fake clickbait is not as interesting as his real actual title. Is Niles Red a real chemist? Probably. Good old Nile Red. Yeah, turning cotton balls into cotton candy. Like, it's not even really clickbait, but it kind of is, because like you wouldn't just do that for no reason. Like, it's probably not an efficient way to make cotton candy, right? But it's just an interesting thing. So it's kind of clickbaity, but yeah. What even is a real chemist? Good question. I watch reaction channels. Yeah, I don't. Although, I guess like if a YouTuber I already like does a reaction video, I will watch it. Like Trixie Mattel occasionally will do a reaction video. Also, this is embarrassing. It shows my subscriptions on the side here. Let's just dive in real quick. Okay, I have the Cornell Lab bird cams, which are live feeds of different birds. Sibling Rivalry, which is Bob the Drag Queen and Monet Exchange. That's their podcast. They do recaps of some Drag Race seasons, so that's the main stuff I watch from them. RuPaul's Drag Race official channel, because they have the previews. The Try Guys, embarrassing millennial reporting in. Trixie Mattel, Fave Drag Queen. Strange Eons, which is like the smallest of the channels, but she's hilarious. I love that she just did one about Molgoths. I don't know. Her content is very much my jam. My Immortal. When she hits 2 million or 1 million subs, she's gonna read My Immortal, like the whole thing in a video, and I'm really excited for an audiobook of My Immortal. So please subscribe. And then Wow Presents, which is also Drag Race. Embarrassing. Wow, just called out over here. Yeah, Strange Eon. She's very good. And she has a cute kitty. Oh, 2 cute kitties now. Okay, guys, back to recursion. We are so focused. We are so focused. No, you're fine. I noticed you don't follow a certain cool podcast. That's not all my subscriptions. Please. Look at this. Recent search. Go Get His podcast. I hear they have funny shorts. It's true. Oh, I was going to share it in the chat, but I forgot I don't have my chat pulled up on this computer. Yeah, everyone follow Go Get Us. They're great. God Failed to Kill Fee. What a good title. What a good title. I also followed y'all on TikTok, which is great because I don't ever go on TikTok. So like, you're welcome. Okay. So return a blank array. If the function is called with a number less than n, or less than 1, it should return an empty array. Done. And then I have to do some recursion. That's the thing I don't remember. Can I just copy this exact thing? Let's find out. God keeps trying to kill me to no avail. True, but one day he'll be successful. I'm gonna open this previous recursion challenge that I don't remember. They're like, don't you remember recursion? No. In the base case, it returns 1. Okay, we got that. For larger values of n, it calls itself. Okay, so we return the function. The same thing. So count down n minus 1, count array dot push n. Do I know what I'm doing? No. Not my mom sending me Duggar family Instagram stories. Yikes. The only thing I want to hear about the Duggars is how much jail time they're getting. I don't think this is right, but let's see. Nope. But it does say recursion, which I think is just that I put the function back here. Global variables should not be used to cache the array. Oh, I don't like this because I don't like it. Okay. Say you want to, okay, what are we trying to do? We defined a function called countdown. But I think we need to do the opposite. We need to count up because that's what the count up function was, a subtraction. The function should use recursion to return an array containing n through 1 based on the n parameter. If the function is called with a number less than 1, it should return an empty array. If n is less than 1, return an empty array. For example, calling it with 5 should return the array 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yeah, so the actual recursion bit's not working because okay. So this is the opposite. This is a count up. Return an array containing the numbers 1 through n. This function will also need to accept an argument n representing the final number. Then it will need to call itself with progressively smaller values of n until it reaches 1. At first, this seems counterintuitive since the value of n decreases, but the values in the final array are increasing. This happens because the push happens last after the recursive call has returned. At the point where n is pushed into the array, it's already been evaluated, 1, 2, n minus 1. So that means if we put 5, it will be 5 minus 1 equals 4. I hate this. Sorry. I don't like it. I don't like it. Let's see more about recursion. Okay. So I have that base case. I'm gonna get a hint because I don't feel like I'm gonna use this enough that I care. No, I want hints. I don't want a solution. Here we go. Guide to understanding recursion. It's one of the most frequently asked questions on the forum. Okay, first step to understand recursion requires an understanding of the operator precedence. It determines how operators are parsed concerning each other. Operators with higher precedence become the operands of operators with lower precedence. What's it saying is if you have this code, a equals 42 plus some function divided by 2. It has certain rules of what to evaluate first. So function call is first. So let's say the function returns 100. So instead of the function, we switch it to 100. Then we do division because PEMDAS. So to divide 100 by 2, it's 50, and then addition, and then assignment. Interesting. Okay. What does that have to do with recursion? That's my next question. Yes. It is a direct side effect of precedence. So that the function is recurs forever a. Return the function a plus 1. Outer function recurs forever will not return the inner function, but the result of it. There is no special logic or mode in the language that allows recursion. It's simply an order in which things get evaluated by the parser. Okay, that does make more sense. Although that's not necessarily helping me solve the problem I have. If you try to run recurs forever from the example above, it won't run forever. In fact, it would very quickly throw an error. Maximum call stack size exceeded. Whenever you run to something like this, it's time to debug. First step is to understand the context of an error. After reading about these errors, we've exceeded the range, whatever. Now that we know the context, it's time to search for the reason. Have a good meeting. Whenever a JavaScript engine runs a function, it pushes into the call stack. Think of call stack as a primitive array with just 2 methods, push and pop. This is so much more complicated. Is this not a mood? I actually lied, pleading face. In every function call, we have new arguments. We started with 0 and then this, so blah, blah, blah. Okay, taking away number 1. When you attach parentheses to a function name, it's no longer a function, but the result of a function. Okay. Recursion is nothing else than an iteration that doesn't use iterable data structures like an array, but instead uses an array-like system structure called call stack. The natural function of recursion is to repeat itself over some set of changing arguments. Base case. Yeah, I understand the... Thank you, Fee. Appreciate you popping by. It's been so nice to have you here. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I hope your coffee woke you up. Yeah, have a good one. Go do something more fun. More fun than JavaScript. Let's see. Otherwise... Okay. Yes, every recursive function has to have a base case. We have the base case. This is so extensive. Oh my god, it's so long. Whoa. Whoa. Here is a visualization of a similar process. Oh, interesting. If n is equal to 1, return 1. That's not what I did at all. Do we change that later? Literally, what is concat? Okay, well that line's correct. Oh my god, this is the longest thing in the world. Understanding recursion requires understanding of many programming principles, and that's why it might be overwhelming sometimes. Just look at the length of this guide. True. Okay, well, I'm going to look at what their official solutions are. Const array. I'm just going to call it array then. Equals countdown. Oh, okay, so it is minus, just like the other one. Unshift. Splice. What is concat? That's my other question now. Concat JavaScript. Used to merge two or more arrays. Huh. Okay, so this is not like the example at all. That's cool. N minus 1. Array. Unshift. N. Return array. I think the return needs to be, yeah, here. There we go. Do I understand it? No. Does it matter? I don't think so. Oh no, another recursion. Okay, continuing from the previous challenge, we provide you another opportunity to create a recursive function to solve a problem. We've defined a function called range of numbers with two parameters, start num, end num. The function should return an array of integers, which begins with a number represented by the start num parameter and ends with end num. The starting number will always be less than or equal to the ending number. Your function must use recursion and not use loops. It also should work for cases where both of these are the same. Okay, so let's look at it. So first we need the base case, which is if start num is less than or equal to end num, I think. Return an empty array. I don't know if that's right, but we're just gonna try it. And then else const array equals range of numbers n minus 1. Gonna pop off and finish building my insane sewing table thing. I will send you a picture when it's done. Yes, please do. I want to see. Also, did you stream this week? Did I miss it? I want to see your streams. I'm not pressuring you. I'm just excited. I would love to see it on a stream as well. Dude, streaming is hard. As I say every time I stream, streaming is very hard. On Monday, I forgot it was Monday. Okay, it was a holiday. And on Wednesday, I slept in. Self-care. Self-care queen. We love to see it. Monday was a weird day, okay? So there you go. You're fine. I will be there unless I have meetings, but I will be there. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Bye. Have a good one. I have no idea. I am just trying stuff. It begins with a number represented by start num and ends with a number represented by end num. Okay. So I think I don't remember array splice JavaScript. The splice method changes the contents of an array by removing or replacing existing elements and or adding new elements in its place. To access part, see slice. Splice, start, delete, count, item 1, item 2, item n. I feel like this might be a pop or a push. Removes the last element and returns that element. No. I want to return the full array. Well, that's less important than like what this array is meant to be doing. I'm gonna get a hint. Recursion, how it works? Okay. Range of numbers. Start num, end num minus 1. Okay. So start num. End num. Right, because there's no n. That's the variable we're doing. Array.push end num. Yeah, because end num is the one that's changing. Is that it? No, almost maybe. Return numbers. Const. Did I const? I did const. Did I? Yeah. Array.push. Oops. Oh no. Reopen, close tab. I don't think my code's gonna be there. Oh, it is. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I couldn't be happier. If. Ah. That's it. If it's not those things, return a blank array. Is that it? No. Global variables should not be used to cache the array. So let's call it num array. Maybe. This is fine. Function. Range of numbers. Start num, end num. If there we go. I had an equal sign when I didn't need an equal sign. Y'all, we just finished the basic JavaScript class. Can I get some hype in the chat? Like, that's exciting. Pew, 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 pew. Whatever the exciting thing we're gonna do with channel points. Insert that here. Rap air horn, some confetti, maybe drip Goku. No, I don't know. But we did it. We did the basic JavaScript class. So next up is ECMA script, or ES is a standardized version of JavaScript. Okay, so this is just like newer ES6 stuff, and then regex, and then debugging, etc. So I think I'm going to call it here because we finished a whole block, and I don't even just want to start the next thing yet, right? Like I want to celebrate that we finished this and decide if we want to keep going with this class, which I think we do. I think this is probably important, and I do want to learn the other things in here. It just looks overwhelming right now because like scrolling through, there's 1,000 things. Then I want to celebrate that we finished this, and we'll definitely come back to it on next Friday, because next Friday is coding stream day, learning stream day. But I will also be here on Wednesday. Had to double check myself. On Wednesdays, we're doing co-working. So kind of like just chatting while we work on other stuff. So far, I've been doing a lot of open source, like GitHub stuff during those streams. So if that interests you, you can definitely pop by. But let's see who is on so we can raid somebody, because I am so proud of us, y'all. I'm so proud that that we actually finished that. It feels good. It feels good. I'm going to switch to my just chatting screen. And let's see if I can find anybody who is streaming programming. We have a lot of Overwatch streamers I follow are on right now. I wonder if there's anybody else who's doing free code camp right now. That would be cool. Let's take a look. Just me. So how about someone else who's doing JavaScript? Let's see. Wow, so many folks doing way more exciting things than me. Oh, my friend Nikki T Online, who I know from, and I mean, friend is a strong word. Let me say. I follow Nikki T. Used to work at Dev2. Now I believe is working somewhere else, but still streaming. And today he is working on stuff with a senior software engineer, Brandon Roberts, senior software engineer at OpenSauce. So that seems fun. Angular, NGRX, analog, and open source. I know some of those words. So I think that's who we'll read today, unless anyone else has a suggestion. Let's see. So I've seen like his streams on Dev2, but I don't actually follow his personal channel, so that's exciting for me. So we'll go raid Nikki T Online. I'm a developer.live. And yeah, I will be here again on Wednesday. We'll be learning more JavaScript on Friday. Please come hang out. And I hope you have a good rest of your Friday. Genuinely. It's Friday, so I hope you're enjoying your day. Have a good rest of your day and keep it cute. Bye.